Today we have a discussion between a Linux user and a Windows user. I'm the Linux user, and I'm the Windows user that doesn't hate himself. Wait a second, you don't actually think that Windows is better, do you? Okay, Mr. Graybeard. Of course I think Windows is superior. Why do you think Linux is any better? Well, first off, it is free and open source. Therefore, it's a lot more open and just without all the bureaucracy of just the nastiness of big corporations. So uniformity and standardization mean nothing to you? No. You misunderstand. You're literally being able to build and choose every single customization in your entire system. So you have the ultimate freedom to do whatever you want. And I don't have to worry about like the spying of Microsoft. Exactly how long did it take you to customize your Linux? Or an ongoing thing. And come on, it's Microsoft. It's a business. It has to make money after all. Okay, sheep. I get it. You probably think corporations are people too, and they really should have over $2 trillion worth of net worth. When it comes to the customization of Linux and me going through and customizing everything, it's more of a journey than a destination. It's kind of just something I do in my day-to-day, and I like it that way. Besides, the updates in Linux are far better, more stable, and how's that working out for you in Windows? Okay, so obviously Windows Update could use some work, and its stock settings are not good, but what Windows user doesn't change those settings? I mean, they're fairly simple to get to, and I make it so it's somewhat sane. But yes, I will admit, Windows Update does suck. But then again, I don't have to use the terminal to update my system. Okay, first, terminal is awesome, and you should use it in Windows. But even more than that, we have GUI updaters in Linux, and, 60% of the time, they work every time. Oh, that sounds less than ideal. Kind of like playing games, eh? Actually, gaming has gotten pretty good in Linux. I mean, you've heard of the Steam Deck, and a lot of gaming libraries are on there now. So it's gotten so much better compared to how it used to be. And, pretty soon, you're not going to be able to say that. Okay, what about Call of Duty and Warzone and all the first-person shooters like PUBG? No, I don't play those games. Do I look like a teenager? Okay, what about Destiny 2? Okay, all right, fine. It's no secret that Linux doesn't have the best track record when it comes to competitive shooters, but we have Apex Legends mostly working all the time, kind of, this year. So we have that going for us. So what you're saying is most other games, you just click play or click install? Well, not exactly. So you still got to tinker a little bit to get some games working, especially if they're not on Steam. And that can be less than great in some instances, but I enjoy that process, just kind of figuring out what works, what doesn't work. And on the occasional circumstance, there are some games that do play a little bit better and have better performance than Windows. Now, albeit, I'll give you that's only maybe 5 or 10% of them out there, but still, there's a few. Yeah, that kind of brings me to what happens what happens during updates and those types of things. Does it just automatically work every time? Yeah. Okay. Well, sometimes they do break. That's just gaming in general. It happens on Windows, but I'll say it does happen more in Linux when games just do unexpected patches, and occasionally I'm thinking like League of Legends. Sometimes it does break every once in a while, but usually there's a good patch after a day or two. Really? What do you not like about Windows? But the big part that I love about Linux is it's so lightweight. It's not as heavy as Windows. It doesn't have a whole bunch of stuff. Yes, you can debloat Windows and make it somewhat functional, or a lot more functional than the stock settings, but it'll still be nothing in comparison to how streamlined and minimal you can make a Linux install. You could run it on a potato if you wanted. Heck, big companies like Google, they use it all throughout their campuses. They actually run their own version of Linux. And when it comes to sending people into space, SpaceX, NASA, all their critical systems run Linux, not Windows. That sounds nice, but like, come on. Computers have gotten so fast. Do you really need to like slim it down that much? And I'm not trying to send my computer into space here. Well, okay, so it doesn't really matter. Sure, most systems are pretty powerful today, but I will say it is very satisfying getting that just little bit more performance and having less things in your memory. And that it's just, it's fun to brag on Reddit. Hey, look how much memory I'm not using because I'm running Linux. All right, well, I got to tell you, I'm a gamer. I have a really good system, and Windows works just fine for me, so I think I'm going to stick to Windows. Well, I care about open source, and I care about privacy, so I'm going to stick to Linux. Or we could just use Mac. This guy, he's got jokes. I love it. So I would say just, when it comes to having all these operating systems and doing this banter back and forth, it's important that we don't really identify with this particular operating system. Use the right tool for the right job. Let me know down in the comments if you enjoyed this format, as it was something I wanted to try something a little different, see if I can't challenge myself technologically to try and do an interview with myself, because I find myself using Windows sometimes and Linux for other times, and even Mac, which, I might try and amp this up and bring in a Mac version and have a three-way conversation for the next one. If you guys like it, let me know. Hit the like button. Let me know what I missed in this back and forth. What would you have said to the Windows or Linux user? And if I should add the Mac user in. And with that, thank you all, and I'll see you in the next one.